How's it going, you guys, and welcome to Morning Cup. We started off with news coming out of Russia stating that Navalny has now officially been jailed for 3.5 years. Navalny, before his verdict was put out, stated openly to the court as well as to the Russian people that this is exactly what they do. They jail one person to suppress the voice and the opinions of millions. But this time, it won't work. And just as the verdict was announced and Navalny was taken back into prison, protests erupted across Russia. We saw more than 1,500 people being arrested and more being detained across the Russian country. Moscow, as well as certain small cities across Russia, faced massive protests on a scale that they've never contemplated before. Kremlin had to put out a statement regarding the protests as well as the jailing of Navalny, stating that they had no stake in poisoning him earlier, that they were not involved in threatening his life earlier, as claims were made by Navalny and his defense, stating that the only reason why he could not come to the court earlier and the reason by the courts for jailing him is the fact that he did not report to the police when he was asked to report to the police because of some financial issues. Well, Navalny stated that he was poisoned by the highest authorities in the FSB in Russia and therefore was recovering in Germany, hence he couldn't show up for the hearings. Well, that was all thrown out the window, and the Kremlin denied all charges and denied all allegations, but that was to no avail. Protests ran rampant, and by the looks of it, they will continue to run rampant as long as Navalny is jailed. Major countries like the United States have called for the release of Navalny immediately, but to no avail. We move on to Australia, and Australian bushfires have been in the story numerous occasions and numerous moments in time. But this time, amongst the COVID 19 pandemic in Perth, turns out that the Australian bushfires ran rampant and almost incurged onto the city. Hundreds of people had to be evacuated and spent the night in community centers when the entire bushfire massacre kept on raging. Communities, homes, societies were all burnt down, and the fire still rages on. As a matter of fact, the smoke that is engulfing Perth right now is put out a health warning by the officials stating that it could carry infectious disease along with it, with Perth being under significant lockdown till the end of the week because of COVID cases rising. It is just still anyone's guess if this new smoke that is engulfing the entire city is going to be carrying the strains of the virus as well. Health warnings are out throughout Perth, and people are being warned to stay indoors as well as to ensure that no one is exposed to this smoke. We move on to an Oxford statement dictating the fact that the AstraZeneca vaccine is 76% effective, but only for a span of 3 months. This is the first official statement about the duration of a vaccine and its validity post that period. Well, we know for now that the 3 month threshold is what we get to see with most vaccines upon speculation. But now, with this official statement by Oxford, we do understand the fact that 3 months is what we're looking at in terms of how long a vaccine can keep you safe from the coronavirus. Whether that's going to be enough, or whether we're looking at a time wherein another vaccine is going to come out, or whether multiple doses are going to be required, or if getting a shot every 3 months is going to be the new norm, is still anyone's guess. But the basic points still remain the same. We need to make sure that we're on top of things. We need to make sure that we're very well aware of the fact that this vaccine is very essential. And a 3 month incubation period, which keeps you safe for just merely 3 months, is nowhere near enough to keep people safe, especially the frontline workers. We move on to the fact that the WHO team has put out a statement regarding the fact that they've moved on from the wet markets to the Wuhan virus lab. Now, this is the lab that numerous conspiracy theories dictated that was the origin of the coronavirus, that this was the place where the coronavirus was being experimented upon, and this is the place where it leaked from. Now, no other statements have been put out by the WHO team, but it is put out a statement dictating that it has come across data that no one has ever seen and has not currently ruled out the fact that this virus could have escaped from a lab. We move on to the final story of the day, and the final story of the day is kind of devastating because Turkey is facing massive flash floods. Now, the initial onset of these flash floods were rather shocking to a lot of people, but rivers have been completely overrun with the sheer force of the flow that's been generated. People's homes, people's cars are being all washed away. What the next steps for the Turkish government is going to be to provide immediate relief, as well as the global initiatives to step in as they always do, is still anyone's guess. Whether Turkey is also going to be allowing international efforts to come into play is still up for speculation, considering that coronavirus and considering the travel restrictions as well as the lockdowns across the world. Whether Turkey is going to be seeking international help in its relief efforts for this flash flooding incidents, or whether it's going to try and handle everything on its own accord, still remains to be seen. But what we do understand by the end of the statement is that there is a lot that is going wrong in the world, with protests to wildfires to flash floods to nuclear denuclearization attempts, murderers being freed from jail, to Myanmar coups. We understand that there is a lot that's developing, and we will keep you updated on everything that's happening around the world. Until then, this has been your morning cup. I'll see you tomorrow.